Good morning, Jen.
Morning.
So I brought you on today, Jen. I just thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to bring you on and sort of have a little bit of a chat about your journey with me, obviously at Wealthy Evolution with transformation coaching. And I just really wanted to sort of go back. It feels like a long time ago now, but go back to last August. So just over a year ago, 13 months ago, when you first contacted me. Dropped me a message through social media and said that you were, in a really, really unhappy place, that you were, in your words, sort of at breaking point, that you were, you're a busy professional career woman, you were juggling everything with your career, but also with family and friends and just kind of being that rock to everybody. And I know as well that, you said that at that time we were obviously into the pandemic and into various different lockdowns, and you felt that, your emotional eating had really, really sort of got to a critical point as well when you first contacted me in the August. So we started working together in the September a year ago, and you went through your 12-week transformation program with me, and amazing results. You lost 13 kilos, which is 28 pounds in that 12 weeks. And I just thought, such an inspiration, not just because of the weight loss, but obviously we are still coaching together now, 12 months later, and to have seen that journey, as I say, not just the weight loss, but everything else that you've achieved along the way, and also how you have sort of become along the way. And I thought it was great to really sort of get that on here and have a chat, and so other women can kind of see that too. So tell me about how life was for you in August last year, if you can remember that far back. In August last year, when you contacted me, what was life looking like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a lifetime ago now, I have to say, when I look back at it. But I was in a pretty dark place, in the sense that nothing, terribly traumatic had happened to me as such. It's not sort of any dramatic story there, but it was just one of essentially burnouts. I just got to that point where I was working really hard, really career focused, trying to then work equally hard at home. Felt that I was kind of generally the rock in terms of family, any crisis that happened, etc. And so I was basically surviving off of, caffeine and sugar, and that was how I was managing to keep those hours going. So although I was going to the gym twice a week, so on the face of it seemed completely together, and doing exercise and doing all the things in principle on paper that looked right, I definitely wasn't there. I felt I was very muted as to who I was emotionally drained, so quite emotional outside of an office environment. It was pretty dark days, and as I say, just surviving off of sort of caffeine and sugar to give me that comfort and energy, frankly, to keep going.
Yeah. And tell me what life looks like for you now.
Well, now I am pleased to say, I'm delighted to say it's a much brighter picture, a very exciting times. I've obviously, as you say, lost the 13 kilos, which was massive for me. It was about more actually than just losing the weight. For me, it was about initially on the face of it, it felt very like it was just about the weight, but it was the first step to trying to get my confidence back, to get my sense of self back, so that I could then face the other, perhaps slightly harder challenges behind the scenes. And it was kind of the first step for me. So now I've managed to apply for a promotion that I was really nervous about, because I just didn't have the confidence, and I succeeded in. Thank you very much. I have taken up hobbies pushing me, like swimming in the sea, which I thought I kind of always thought this was this dream that I might try and do, but I've now do. I'm currently working on some great projects with my work and stuff that are really putting me out there online and webinars and sort of in the public eye, which I think I would never really have had the confidence to do to the extent that I am now, certainly. So the future's bright. So much happier. Thank you.
Amazing. And obviously I should just say that, this is 12 months on, but actually we are still coaching together, because, whilst you've had an amazing weight loss in that time, there are still other areas that we're working on with different things, with limited beliefs, and like you say, really sort of progressing you and getting you to a place that you feel, you know, really, really sort of happy with everything that's sort of happening. And tell me, what had you tried before? Because I know when we spoke, you said, oh, I've been through a transformation program before, and I was intrigued to hear. So tell me a little bit about the transformation program that you did prior to coming on board with me.
Yeah, so I had done a very hardcore 12-week body transformation. So it was quite very specifically about weight loss. So that was all it was focused on, was getting those pounds off, shredding and getting your fitness up, which worked really well. So I knew I could get the weight off. That was almost part of the frustration, actually, is that I'd been there and I knew how good physically that felt. But what it didn't do, obviously, because it wasn't intended to, it didn't address the why. So it wasn't addressing why I was eating the way I was eating, or what was causing those habits that led me to get to that place in the first instance. And so it was a diet, in the sense it was really strict protein and carb and macro control, which, again, as I say, worked brilliantly, bang on in 12 weeks, but it wasn't sustainable. You couldn't live that life where you were eating in that way all the time, or certainly I couldn't, without losing my mind.
I don't think anybody could after you told me what the diet was.
So it kind of got to the point where it was brilliant for a period, and then you had this lovely happy period afterwards where you were enjoying it, and then very quickly, however, when life, as it does, gets in the way, and you get back to the real world, it just wasn't sustainable. So I piled that back on and more. So it, as I say, it didn't address the why.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, you know, that's the thing, isn't it, that, you know, during our coaching, it's not just been about nutrition, but it's been mindset, it's been habit changing, it's been working on those limiting beliefs, it's been working on lifestyle, so that, like you say, you know, during this 12 months that we've coached, and even during your 12 weeks, yes, we had a pandemic, but you still enjoyed some takeaways, you still had some special meals out with your partner, and you know, various different things. So it has worked around your life, rather than you know, you've had to kind of limit things or not do certain things. So this is always an interesting one too, because I know when we spoke the other day, you know, the thought of kind of even starting with a coach initially was, like, you know, that's me saying I'm not in control of everything in my life. That's me saying I need some help, I need some support. And, you know, I know we've worked together for 12 months, and I know that you're a very, very strong woman. You're very independent. You have everything in your life kind of under control and everything. But for you to let go of some of that and say, I actually need somebody to help and support me and be there as a sort of guide through this, was quite a big thing. So I'm sure that there are loads and loads and loads of busy professional women out there, same position as you were 12 months ago. What would you say to them about, you know, having a coach or joining this transformation program? What would you say to them?
Yeah, it was really tough. I felt initially, when I was going to look for a coach, it felt like I'd failed. Like everyone else, you have this perception that everyone else around you is doing this all completely on their own, and look at it, they've got everything together, they're successful, they're beautiful, they're doing all these things, and they're doing it all solo. And so for me, having come from a profession where it is very career focused, and in theory I was doing, you know, very successful, it did feel like a massive failure. But what I realized, that once I got into it and the more I looked around, you know, at how other people were doing things, is that actually it's a complete fallacy that you can do it all on your own. And actually getting that help meant I was able to do better than I could probably do on my own, quicker than I could do on my own, and actually with a much better and longer term prospects. You know, I might have dieted for a bit and got some of that weight under control and felt great about that, but then by Christmas that would have been a problem again, and then it would have just been this never-ending cycle. So I think for anyone who's worried about it, and it took, you know, it's taken me a while to come to the position where I could confidently say, yeah, I've got a coach, that's what I've done, out loud. But I think I just would say, just do it, because I know for my family, for example, they didn't, as much as they loved me, I felt I couldn't really tell them the full picture of how desperate I felt, because I felt I was burdening them, because I was supposed to be that strong person. And also, I'm not entirely sure they would have known how to help me either, because of that independence. Because it's a bit like, it wasn't that I didn't understand nutrition. It's not that I don't understand putting more food in doesn't work. So it wasn't an education thing as such. There was obviously always things you're learning, but it wasn't a flat, I don't understand how this works, calories work. So I don't think they really knew how to get me there. Yes. And to support me. And so, and that was the massive thing for me. I think once, within weeks of starting, it was just that actually a massive sense of relief that finally I had that support. And that someone else was there to guide me and to, initially tell me what to do, and then afterwards work through so that I could work it out myself. But initially having that someone to just take the burden off and say, it's fine, we're going to sort this out and this is what we're going to do, was massive. So do it. Is the short answer to the question.
Fabulous, Jen. And honestly, like I've said to you so many times, every time we come on our weekly calls and there's been, really, really big sort of movement within your career, within your personal life, within different things that you've been doing, yes, that 28 pounds, that 13 kilos is absolutely incredible. But I think I've seen far more of a transformation in your confidence and even in that smile and in kind of everything else that you've gone on and achieved. And I'm super excited for us to continue this journey at the moment. But thank you so much. I just really appreciate you coming on, sharing your experience of being obviously on my transformation program and letting other busy career women know kind of what you can get out of coaching. Anyway, thanks so much.
No, it's my pleasure. I just want to say that I think, I know Naomi won't say this herself, but she is absolutely fabulous. Oh. She has supported me through it all, as tough as it's got. Oh, look, I'm going to get emotional now. But honestly, I think people go for it because it will be the best thing you ever do.
Oh, bless you. Thanks so much.